Because you know being healthy is like so 2006. Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to my channel. Just a heads up, I am heading to the United States this week, so my upload schedule next week might be a little bit weird. So far, I've posted about this trip on Instagram and here on YouTube, but if you are interested in why I'm going and what's gonna happen while I'm in the United States, I will link an article about all of that from my website in the description box. The other thing as well is that if you do want to donate to the trip, you're more than welcome to do so. I will also put a PayPal link in the description box and in the comments of this video. I've never really been one to talk about money on this channel, but in this case, every single cent is super, super, super helpful, and I definitely could not do it without you guys. So to everyone who's already donated, thank you so much. I am genuinely really excited about this trip. Back to the video. So I don't know if you guys have noticed, but it seems like there's this trend at the moment where businesses and ad campaigns basically try to promote body positivity. Seems fair, right? Haha, wrong. In doing so, most of the time, all they end up really doing is promoting obesity because, like, why not? A notable example that some of you might remember was when Cosmopolitan put a very overweight model on the front cover of their magazine. And then everyone went mad. But the buck does not stop there. Gillette, the new woke brand, has jumped on board this initiative. Because when they're not attacking men, they're telling you to love yourself. They use this image as part of a body positivity campaign for their women's range. They also said this in a tweet. Venus is committed to representing beautiful women of all shapes, sizes, and skin types, because all types of beautiful skin deserve to be shown. We love Anna because she lives out loud and loves her skin no matter how the rules tell her she should display it. Yeah, I think it's less a case of the rules telling you what to do and more the medical community. I am genuinely really sick and tired of seeing businesses and ad campaigns basically promote a very, very unhealthy body type and lifestyle in order to appear more inclusive and tolerant. I actually hate the body positivity movement, not because it encourages you to love yourself, that's actually a pretty nice concept, but because it normalizes obesity and tries to shut down any criticism of it. Guess what's not useful? That.
Our doctors to be able to tell the truth. Because listen, let's face it, if you are too fat, you are on death row. You are on death row. We know that being too fat means that it can trigger cancer. And by the way, cancer research, we're told they were fat shaming a few months ago for warning us about it. The world's gone mad. Die. The world's gone mad. Stroke, heart disease, the list goes on. So actually, it's quite compassionate to be quite honest with people.
Even back in 2018, Sports Illustrated jumped on board this initiative as well by putting curvy models on the catwalk so that they were more representative of other body types. And again, this would have been perfectly fine had they not put women on the catwalk who were actually overweight. Because let's remember, there's a really big difference between being curvy and being overweight. But let's be clear for a hot second. Nobody's born like this. This is 100% the result of bad diet and lifestyle choices. And what's so odd to me about all of this is that you have governments around the world basically trying to set up initiatives and campaigns to make sure that people actually lose weight and eat healthier. These campaigns encourage people to eat more fruit and vegetables. Australia has even floated the idea of a sugar tax. Actually, the UK actually has a sugar tax, and I'm pretty sure some states in America also have sugar taxes. There are countless initiatives in Australia that encourage children to get moving by walking to school or owning a bike or digging holes. I'm not really sure what kids do. The point is that schools and the government and parents, I would assume, are trying to get kids moving because childhood obesity is getting more and more prominent. Across the board generally, this is a huge problem. Obesity is a massive, massive problem, and it's not going to abate anytime soon. Because regrettably, food is delicious. So yeah, it strikes me as odd that you have campaigns and initiatives over here encouraging people to lose weight, and then you have campaigns and initiatives on the other side putting very overweight people in the limelight and then basically saying, haha, look, body positivity. It doesn't make any sense. One of many articles from last year covers this exact topic. Debate has erupted over whether obese models should be banned from fashion runways after doctors warned drastically overweight supermodels send health messages that are just as dangerous as those sent by models who are underweight. New South Wales top doctor Brad Frankham fears the growing popularity of extremely overweight models is glorifying obesity, likening the use of overweight models to advertisements with cigarettes. This doctor says that there is a fine line between being confident and promoting unhealthy messages. We don't want anyone to feel ashamed or embarrassed by the way they look, and everyone needs to wear clothes. But there is a difference between being confident in who you are and promoting a healthy weight message. Dr. Frankham said a better message would be sent by seeing more models who are a healthy size, neither overweight nor underweight, on runways rather than celebrating extremes. Yeah, we should not be celebrating extremes. Only sameness. I'm not gonna lie though, Gillette's advertising team are actually pretty clever because I think all they're really trying to do is create posts and videos and whatever that are eventually gonna go viral. Because really, let's be realistic for a second, why would you put someone like this in an ad campaign? Because people on both sides of the coin react. Just like I'm doing right now. Because we are predictable. Because I've made another video already about this topic, I'm gonna try not to repeat myself here, but I do want to reiterate the fact that there is a huge difference between healthy, normal, natural body types and being genuinely overweight. And believe me, I get it. Not everyone relates to or feels good looking at that size 6 model who's bouncing down the runway. Which is understandable because human beings come in all shapes and sizes. Although that's the corniest line ever, it's actually true. However, there is a big difference between a pear-shaped body type who is bottom heavy because of actual genetics and I eat my feelings. Oh, that was harsh. The interesting thing about this is while these ad campaigns try to make people feel better about themselves, it actually seems like they're having pretty deleterious effects on the general population. A 2015 study from Simon Fraser University in Canada found that the increasing use of plus-size models in advertising campaigns may be contributing to the growing rates of obesity. The researchers conducted 5 experiments to see how subjects would react to cues suggesting that obesity was acceptable. In each instance, the subjects displayed a greater intended or actual consumption of unhealthy food and a reduced motivation to engage in a healthier lifestyle, driven by an increased belief that obesity was more socially acceptable. The study's authors say the efforts to increase acceptance are resulting in increasing the amount of thought consumers are putting into appearance and heightening body anxiety, ironically the opposite of what many of these marketing campaigns are trying to achieve. I mean, this is not to say that this study is like the be-all and end-all of studies about this particular topic, but I do think it's interesting food for thought. Get it? Food for thought? Okay, never mind. A 2018 study from the UK suggested that people are more likely to underestimate how overweight or obese they are, and this is likely the result of the normalization of obesity. The study suggests that clothing lines for larger women and the body positive movement helps reduce stigmatization of larger bodies, but it can also potentially undermine the recognition of being overweight and its health consequences. The study also notes that this happens especially when retailers label larger clothing with smaller sizes than their actual fit and cut. Because the only way to feel good about yourself is when you're being lied to. Can I also just say too, why is it always obese women in these ad campaigns? Where are the overweight men? Like, I'm not even kidding here. Have you ever seen a body positive movement for men? You know what? We need to Google this. Let's Google this. Okay, it doesn't really look like this exists. Well, now we know, men, you all need to look like David Beckham. Or whoever is attractive these days, I don't even know. The point here is, no dad bods. Only women apparently can have dad bods. Learn it. Anyway, the point here is there is absolutely nothing wrong with showing diverse body types who fit into clothes and whatever. But people who look like the woman in this Gillette ad are not the norm, and they shouldn't be the norm. Mainly because of the multitude of health issues that come along with being overweight. And believe me, there are many. Take Australia, for example. According to the Australian Bureau of Statistics, the average Australian woman is about 71 kilograms and is about 162 centimeters tall. So the average Australian woman is probably better represented by sizes 10 to 14 than anything else. What they're not going to be represented by, on the other hand, are people who look like they're a few donuts short of a heart attack. You want to be body positive? Fine. You want to appeal to a wider market? Fine. Put a size 12 on the runway, put a size 10 in your ad campaign, done, dusted. That's probably more representative of everyday, average, normal people than someone who is grossly obese. The really sad thing about all of this is that we're at a point where more people on this planet die as the result of obesity than being underweight. I think we're gonna need a benefit concert for obesity next. Where's Bono? In Australia, over 63% of the population are overweight or obese. But as far as I see it, appealing to that is not the answer. I mean, it doesn't mean we have to go out and shame people and throw food at them and get them to jog up hills, but it definitely doesn't mean that we should be putting people into ad campaigns and promoting this idea that looking like this and having this lifestyle is genuinely acceptable when it's not. Millennials, which is my generation, are set to be the fattest generation on record, which is insane to me. Obesity in children is through the roof, and fatalities as the result of obesity and illnesses and complications as the result of obesity are getting more and more every year. So as mean as this is gonna sound and as harsh as it's gonna sound, I don't accept having very, very overweight people in ad campaigns. I don't accept seeing them on the runway, and I honestly don't want to see them in this sort of pop culture media limelight because I think it's irresponsible. That being said, let me be clear about this. I have a lot of respect for people who are overweight or obese who recognize that in themselves and are doing something to change it, even if it's something very small, baby steps daily. I think that that is much more impressive than saying, I embrace myself, I look fantastic on this Gillette Venus thingy while being really super overweight. In the end, being this overweight is a choice. And even doctors say that getting to this point is the result of making the choice every day to not look after yourself, to not eat properly, to not work out, and so on and so forth. And this happens over years. At any point during the process, these people can pull back from it and fix what's happening to them, but they just don't. Looking like this and getting to this level of obesity actually requires effort. So in the end, unless you're someone who is overweight as the result of actual illnesses or complications and things like that, where it's actually out of your control, I have so much sympathy for those people. But if you're not in that category, then this is your own fault. And it really, really, really should not be something that we are promoting as a lifestyle to anyone. But at the end of the day, being obese is honestly something that's avoidable and something that should be inexcusable. And as far as I'm concerned, these ad campaigns, the body positivity thing, has a lot to answer for. So let me know in the comments what you think about this. Do you think I'm being super harsh, or do you think that these ad campaigns are actually really disastrous and will ultimately have really, really bad consequences? As always, if you like the video, hit subscribe and the thumbs up button. If you want to leave a comment, feel free to do so. Just don't be rude about it. And I will see you guys next time.